You cannot fix a misaligned business with more grind. Okay, because if that were the truth, if harder work and working harder and hustling harder was true for you to fix a misaligned business, then you'd already be rich. You'd be wealthy. You'd be happier, right? You'd have more clients. You'd have more cash flow. You'd be doing all the things you want to do, working with the clients you want to work with. You'd be where you want it to be in business and in life, right? So if it was true that more grind, harder work, excessive work, and all of that hustle is actually what you needed to fix a misaligned business, then why is it that you're stuck? Why is it that you're exhausted? Why is it that you're spinning your wheels and going nowhere fast? Now, if you can give me the answer to that, we can talk. But you won't be able to give me the answer, right? Because the truth is, it can't happen. It's not possible. And so that's why we've got to start first with defining what an aligned business means. What does alignment mean in the first place, right? What does it mean for you specifically? Because you get to choose what that looks like for you based on the life you envision. And I always talk to you about reverse engineering everything because it really and truly does have to start with the end goal in mind. If you don't have a big so you have a big dream, a big goal, big aspirations, that's great. But now that you know what that is, first of all, hopefully you do, because you've got to be clear on that, crystal clear on where it is you want to be. Where do you want to end up? Okay. When you know that answer for sure and you're solid, you've got to back into it. What is it that you need to be doing? How do you need to be doing it in order for you to get to that end goal? Okay. Otherwise, you're going to stay misaligned and off track and off your goals and never really hitting your goals, right? And so when we talk about alignment, oftentimes people think, oh, that's so woo. But it isn't, because it's your business value, right? It's your offers, it's your clients, it's your schedule. All of these things have to be moving in the same direction, in alignment. Okay? They can't just be scattered about and just all, as they say out here, willy-nilly. Okay? That's such a funny term to me. Anyways, every time I say that myself, it doesn't just roll off my tongue, but it's just hilarious. Okay, but I digress. But you feel what I'm saying? You actually have all of these things, all of these moving parts and pieces really and truly do need to be in alignment. Okay? Hard work is not the problem. Disconnection is. And what I mean by that is that you're doing a lot. You're doing all the work, right? But not necessarily in the right order. You're not doing or working on the right things. So working harder on the wrong things or working harder on misaligned offers, for example, that will lead to misaligned clients, which means it doesn't equate to better results for you, right? It only gets worse before it gets better. So there are symptoms of what misalignment is, okay? Symptoms to being misaligned, I should say it that way. And that is you're always feeling exhausted. You're always feeling you're burnt out. You're really past exhaustion at this point, right? But those are some of the symptoms. So you're experiencing always being tired, fatigued, burnt out, anxious perhaps, right? You can't quite understand why you're always like in this mood, right? Or why you're always moody. You're like, is it hormonal? Am I postmenopausal? Am I perimenopausal? Like, what is going on? Your hormones are just, raging, and you're just like all over the place. You might have a little bit of brain fog. Things don't light you up anymore. You don't feel like a helpless, hopeless kind of feeling, right? But you do feel a little bit of dread, right? Because it's more like a pull and a tug towards what you're doing right now. It's not just, you're not like operating in flow and ease. You're not working with the clients that you want to work with. Your ideal dream clients, I mean, your dreamiest of dreamiest clients. You're not working with those people. You're working with people who are more of a headache and a hassle and a hustle. And if you are working with clients, at least some of them that you might not mind working with and that you can sort of tolerate, which by the way, you shouldn't just be tolerating people. But if that's the case, then you're like, I'm able to get them results. They're even doing the work, but I'm just not feeling this. I'm just not really like, this doesn't light me up, right? It doesn't make me feel, I don't feel the passion anymore. And sometimes when you feel that way, you've got to go back to your why, right? You always should go back to your why actually when you start to feel this way, because you've got to be grounded and rooted and connected into your why. If you're not, you will lose sight of where you're going. Okay. And you're going to resent the offers that you have too, because of the clients that they're attracting and the fact that you're undercharging, right? You're undercharging for your products and services right now. And that ain't the business, right? Because it's negatively impacting your business, your bank account, and your bottom line, right? And that's not working. So, and I need you to also understand that when we're talking about undercharging, and I want to make sure that I squeeze this in here, you've got to be really crystal clear about the value you bring to your clients. And as a result of them working with you, what transformation are you getting for them if they do the work? And the way you get people to do the work first is to charge your worth and what your work is worth. Okay. If you're not operating and pricing your offers based on the value that you bring, and you're just pricing them on, like kind of out of desperation or based on what you think people will pay you and what they can afford, that speaks to your money issues, your money problems, right? Your money story, your relationship with money. Because that's actually quite rude for you to assume that people aren't resourceful enough to find the money to invest in what it is you offer at a higher rate, a higher price, a premium price, right? And for you to make the assumption that they wouldn't pay you what you are actually wanting to charge, but you're afraid to charge, right? Now, that also speaks to what you've been willing to invest when you work with a coach. Hopefully you have, because if you didn't, and you're a service-based provider or an industry expert or a coach and consultant or coach and or consultant yourself, and you haven't invested at a higher price, then I would question, that would certainly be one of the reasons, one of the many reasons as to why you're not charging at a higher rate, is because you haven't yourself invested at a higher rate. But no wonder you are attracting people to you who aren't willing to pay you what you should be charging in actuality, because your reality right now is that you yourself don't believe in investing at a higher level. So what ends up happening is you bring in people that you're only getting half the transformation for, like you're giving them the information, you're solving part of the problem, right? So you're giving them some of the solution, but not the full transformation. And then as a result, those people might complain that they didn't get the result with you because they can, number one, feel your energy, right? If with that energetic connection they have to you. Two, you didn't give them the full solution. Three, you're not really feeling like being there and they can feel that, right? So you've just got to be well aware and very consciously just heighten your awareness, your level of awareness, with the understanding that you've got to be the client that you want to attract. And so if you're given like low value energy and you're putting in little effort and you're really feeling a bit cynical and moody and you're not wanting to be there, right? All of that is felt from the person that you're working with and the people you're attracting. And you're wondering why more people like you are showing up, but that's just a reflection of you. You've got to sometimes hold up the mirror to yourself, or look at the clients you're attracting and let that be the mirror that you're holding up, that indicates the mirror you're holding up to yourself, because they're reflecting back to you what you're giving them. Does that make sense? So that is so important to know, because sometimes we are operating at a lower vibration and we're not really well aware of it, right? And that's what I'm here for, to be up in your face a little bit, right? Or a lot of bit, and to tell you the truth so that you can start looking from the inside out rather than the outside in. Now, before we go any deeper, if you're getting what I'm giving and you love these gems I'm dropping, go ahead and leave a comment below so we can get this discussion popping, okay? I would love to continue this dialogue in the comments below. So let's go ahead and let me know exactly what it is that you're feeling right now, if I'm hitting home, if I'm pulling on those heartstrings, and what exactly resonated with you and why. All right? Now, the next thing I wanted to say is alignment. Alignment feels good. It feels energetically connected. You are energetically connected because you're doing the work that you love and that you're passionate about, and you feel like showing up not only for your clients, but for yourself. Even if you're tired, even when you have tough times, hard days, it doesn't matter. You will always feel pulled and propelled forward because of the passion you feel that lights you up, that wakes you up every morning, because the work you're doing doesn't feel like work at all when you're doing it right because you are aligned with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're now working with clients who light you up, who bring you joy, who teach you things just like you're teaching them. You guys can, like, they're beyond your clients at this point. Maybe you even became friends with some of these clients, right? They're giving you the best testimonials. And that's the other thing. What testimonials do you want to be known for? That's something you want to really consider as well, right? When you're giving out that kind of energy, what energy are you exuding? When you're exuding the right kind of positive energy and good vibes, and you're putting that out in the universe, and you're speaking life, good things over your own life and that of your clients, it's going to come back to you tenfold. They're going to feel that. They're going to see that. You're giving them a whole experience of you, right? So you need to figure out what's going on inside of you so you can start to heal that, because without you going through this healing process and doing the deeper mindset work and really peeling back those layers and diving deeper into discovering and uncovering what really is the problem, you're going to always feel misaligned and out of place and out of sorts and not really know why. So we've got to start asking the hard questions, okay? The other thing that feels like alignment is when you have a business model that honors your lifestyle and your nervous system. Okay. I know we don't talk a lot about nervous systems when we talk about these things, but that is really a big part of what alignment looks like, right? You don't want to feel anxious and panicked all the time. You want to feel relaxed. You want to embrace ease. You want to do things in excellence. You want to feel graceful about it. You want to flow freely and fabulously in your feminine energy, right? And you definitely want to be energetically connected with the people that you are serving and that you're called to serve. And you want to attract those individuals who you do your best work with and get the best results for to you naturally, organically. Okay, so what you need to shift in order for this to happen is, first of all, you have to have clarity on your core values. Okay, I am so crystal clear on what my core values are. I am laser focused on those because those drive everything, right? They definitely drive my vision, and my vision with my life, right? My vision with what I have going on in my business, every interaction that I have with the people that I'm in tune and in touch with. That means my clients, my internal customers, which are the people that work for me, right? My staff, right? My contractors, my family members, my friends, people who are within my inner circle, as well as those who are outside of it, but closest to me. And that means like people like my clients, as I mentioned just a bit ago. So those are all, internal, external customers, but you want to be in tune and in touch with your core values, because again, that drives everything. If you're not clear on that, you're going to be making some really poor choices. You're going to be a bad judge of character. You're not going to pick the right clients. You're going to work out of desperation, right? You don't ever want to have desperate energy. And you're just going to be taking any and everybody and doing things that you really don't want to do because for that reason. And then two, you've got to have hard boundaries, right? You've got to have the courage to say no instead of yes when you don't mean it and when you know you shouldn't, right? And you've got to stop working with these outdated strategies. That's another thing. All of these things are things you need to shift in addition to community and coaching, right? And so if you are looking for, how to build a freedom-based business and finally do more than survive, but thrive, right? Because who wants a life and a business where you're just barely getting by and surviving? No, you want to thrive in every aspect of your life. And that's why I believe in taking a holistic approach in my teaching methodologies. And this is what I do each and every time I work with any of my clients, be it in a one-on-one capacity or a group setting. But right now, I'm offering something for you, and I don't leave you empty handed, okay? I'm not going to just talk about the problems that you're experiencing. I'm going to provide the solutions, and I'm going to always give you something to take with you. So I have some resources for you that I want to talk to you about really quickly, but definitely as we talk about you starting, building or growing, building and or growing, I should say, right? And eventually setting yourself up to scale to a 6+ business, definitely beyond, right? If that's your like right now, I'm on track for my first 7-figure business. And so I'm, but for you, it might be your first 6 figures, and that's fine. Everybody's in the journey at a different place, phase, or level, and that's fine. I am here though to help you create a freedom-based business using holistic strategies. So if you identify as a woman over 40, a woman of color, or an LGBTQ plus woman who is a high achiever, ambitious woman, and you happen to be either working in the corporate environment and you want to seamlessly transition out, or maybe you're a parallelpreneur kind of sandwiched in between toe out the door of corporate America and toe into your business, but you haven't quite, like left corporate altogether and operating your business full time. And that's your next best, step or your next level, then I'm looking for you as well. And those who are actually, if you are a seasoned entrepreneur or somebody who's been doing this for a while, but you're just not quite either not making consistent revenue, or perhaps you're making some revenue, but it's still not where you want to be. And it certainly ain't no freedom-based business, right? I am here to help you build your first 5K or more a month freedom-based business, and a business that really is in alignment with your core values and your deepest aspirations. Okay. I just designed this very amazing membership that I will be launching live in just a couple of weeks. And so I'm going to have you go right now and click the link below as soon as you're done hearing the sound of my voice here and watching this video, so that you can get on the wait list for the Legacy Lounge. Okay. Because doors open soon, Monday, June 1st, as a matter of fact. Okay. And I want you to be one of the first 50 founding members who gets in for the lowest price it's ever going to be. And invite a friend as well. There are lots of perks about being in this membership. So go ahead and check out the wait list. It has all the deets there. All right. But the more the merrier. We are creating a life that we can live on our terms, but we've got to design it first, and you've got to know exactly what to do in order to make that happen. And so who best to work with than somebody who's actually done it, who's paved the way, who's pivoted a few times, who knows a thing or two about building from the ground up, right? Who's done it the wrong way and who's done it the right way, who's done it the hard way and who's done it the easy way. Okay. So let's go ahead and work towards that soft life that everybody talks about, that embracing ease. Okay. Because I'm all about it and I know you are too. So definitely join the wait list. But I want to support you in that way. But also, listen, this is something you really and truly deserve, because, for me, and I know it's true for you if you follow me and you've been rocking with me for a while, you deserve to build a business from a place of peace and not pressure, right? And where alignment leads to abundance. That's a huge deal. And also, if you're tired of the grind, girl, okay, I know you are, I know I was, and you want to get away from the grind and like really be ready for grounded growth, then I want you to book your Freedom and Focus Clarity call with me, okay, in the meantime and in between time. Now, lastly, I want to share with you that if you do identify as a woman of color, or specifically a Black woman, and you didn't attend the live event of the Job Liberation Virtual Summit, you missed out, sis. Okay, it was epic. But it's not too late for you to get the replay, and you can get the all access pass, and you'll have access to the replays for an entire year. phenomenal speakers, yours truly included. Okay, I was one of the featured speakers, but it was really, really, really good. And right now, actually, they have bonuses continuing on. So you'll get the replays too. I want to say 5 bonuses, if I'm not mistaken. It was just phenomenal. So go ahead and do yourself a favor. Go ahead and look at all of the resources that I'm mentioning right now below, okay, so that you can really just find what's applicable to you right now and jump on the bandwagon, okay? Go all in because you deserve better than what you're experiencing right now. And like I said, this is about living life on your terms and getting past the survival mode into liberation mode, okay? So I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends and definitely make sure you watch the next video that YouTube recommends, okay? As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.